Powering up essential systems. Booting root C/audio logs. Reviewing previous data cells. Repairing audio files.
Thanks, Craig.
Now recording.
I think it's Apocalypses.
I went with the Battle Babe, Gregor McGregor, a smooth-talking, fast-talking grifter.
I was thinking concept-wise, and people keep getting hurt, and nobody stays not hurt.
His name is Rex Kilgore. He's a massive man from the city of New Orleans down in the south. All he's learned is how to take orders and to shoot orders.
There's a dystopia where, like, all of the citizens have hardware installed in their heads.
I was just gonna say that dystopia is actually terrifying.
Like, he's not the moral backbone in that way. It's Mark Zuckerberg's head in a tube.
Mark Zuckerberg. It's just someone pretending to be Mark Zuckerberg.
Alrighty, thank you everyone for coming and listening to this, the first fully fleshed out session of Dystropia. We have the characters all set and ready to go, especially if you listen to the last session. We have everything figured out and filled in that needed to be from that one. And so if everyone is ready, I think we're good to jump on in and get going.
Heck yes.
I'm ready.
Perfect. Okay, so imagine we have the blown up view, like you're like if an astronaut from the International Space Station, kind of, where we look at the world. You listen to the box text and you saw the apocalypses ravage the world and things kind of change a little bit. Think like day after tomorrow, and then we just kind of slowly start zooming in. Where what looks of it starts out, we move towards the continental U.S. and then we start moving towards the New England area of the U.S. and we keep zooming and we keep going closer and closer and closer until eventually we start to pick out details of a settlement, a city. You see different buildings come up. Some of them in the center of the city seem a bit more polished and more put together, and as it goes out towards the edge, it becomes more ramshackle. But everything looks relatively put together. The streets actually make some sense. The whole place seems to be built as a new development. It's not built off of the bones of anything else, as we can see coming in. There's some walled stations. You see some towers, and as we zoom in, we see this official looking building. It's relatively tall compared to everything else. There's places next to the front doors where we see just these long blue banners hanging from there, and there's nothing on the banners per se. It's just a way to designate that this building is official and special. As we continue to move in and get closer and closer to the scene, we move through the doors and we start to see the inside of this building. It's clean, it's well kept, and eventually we get to a little antechamber outside of what looks like what would be equivalent to like the mayor's room, and we see someone sitting there. They're just quietly waiting. They're about 20 minutes early for a meeting of some sort. Which one of you is that?
I suppose that's me. I wouldn't say waiting so much as lounging as more appropriate. I don't know what passes for a waiting room magazine, but whatever there is in this apocalypse realm, McGregor's sitting there quietly flipping through it, humming softly to himself.
Alrighty. Gregor, what you describe yourself as lounging. What does that look like?
So the chairs in the waiting room, he's sort of seated on the edge, is slumped back. His feet are stretched out in front of him a little bit, probably one foot sitting on top the toe of the other, just idly watching people as they come through and reading his magazine, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. How busy is this place? Like how much time are you spending just people watching?
I think that's one of Gregor's favorite pastimes. He likes to know who's who and who's about, and he likes to be plugged in to the currents of what's going on.
That's perfect. So we see Gregor lounging in the chair, very very relaxed, just chilling there waiting. We pan out of the building and we see one person. They're walking in the street. They're going to be there on time. They're heading through the streets, making their way towards the building. Which one of you is that?
That's going to be Rex.
Alrighty, Rex. What kind of things do you see on your walk to the center building?
Rex is mostly on the lookout for people. He's been trained to really try to look and see what people are up to, what they're looking at, how they carry themselves, looking out for any potential threats. Although in somewhere like this, he's not on an active job right now, so he's a little bit more at ease, but some of that training is still going to him. His eyes are always darting back and forth, looking amongst the crowds as he walks with purpose towards the building.
I just was curious. So this is this is a crazy world, and the people here in Eden, I imagine, are like pretty diverse. I'm just curious, like, with Rex's trained eye, like, do the people seem dangerous, or is there like a mix?
It doesn't seem like there are, some people are carrying their guns, of course. You have to in this kind of world, I presume. If they're carrying their guns around, Rex is always keeping an eye out on where those are, and if anyone seems like they might make a reach for theirs at any point for any crazy reason. There's a bunch of crazy people out here. But for the most part, it seems like everyone in Eden is not going to jump out at any moment and be insane. And that's kind of one of the things that's putting him at ease here, I think. They seem a little bit more peaceful than some of the places he's gone through in recent times.
Okay, that leads me to have one question for you. So if some other people are armed as they go, how many of your guns and weapons are you carrying on your person right now as you stroll towards the building?
Well, Rex is carrying all three of his guns on him then. He's got his minigun on his back, he's got his shotgun to his side, and he's got his rifle on his other side, his main one that he uses. Rex has the ability to, really quickly reach for one if he needs to. But he's a bit at ease, so he doesn't feel like he needs to keep his hand anywhere near them.
Okay, so it sounds to me, Rex. So Rex is walking. He's walking through the streets. He's walking with purpose. He knows exactly where he's going. He's moving steadily, maybe not super fast, but steadily. He's keeping an eye out for threats. He's looking left and right, eyeing everyone with his piggy little eyes, and everyone. Man, there is no resistance. Like if there was a crowd at any point, they part the Red Sea for you. Like you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you are a terrifying presence to behold. If you're not like immediately scary, like everyone knows you are a threat off the bat.
He is massive. He is not to be messed with. This is the kind of guy that if he is walking in your direction, you move out of the way. Because if you don't, you might get run over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially, your armor is cobbled together, so or homemade, I should say. So is that like just like miscellaneous pieces of like police gear that have been just like scrounged from places, or is it like hand welded metal plate?
It's kind of a mix of both. Sometimes good intact armor or clothing is hard to find around here. So sometimes you got to rig stuff up a little bit through welding. So it's kind of like mismatched bits that have been welded and fused together into what looks like a very, cobbled together but highly functional pieces of armor.
Despite the fall of civilization, I feel like the spirit of the Second Amendment is alive and well here in Eden. just casual minigun down the street.
Just like a gun-toting hobo. He's got it all on his back.
You got to do what you got to do. Alrighty, so Rex, you make it to the building. You head up, go inside. The receptionist at the front desk looks at you, shudders, and then lets you pass. And eventually you make it to the room where Gregor is lounging. Does either of you particularly react when you see the other person waiting here or arriving?
Could I have some context of why I'm showing up here?
Yes. So you've done some contract security work for Eden before. You're currently under contract to do that. And so you've received word that you have a meeting with your superior.
I think that you can definitely see Gregor's eyes aren't focused on the Welcome to Eden information pamphlet that he's holding.
Rex walks in. and he sees McGregor. It's Gregor McGregor.
Yep.
He sees McGregor sitting down, takes a look at him and goes, "Hey there, Greg. How's it going this morning?"
Rex, you murdered anyone on the way in here?
I don't do no murdering. That's not in the job description.
Quiet morning for you then.
Yeah, I'd say so. You part of this meeting coming up?
Yes, sirree. Any idea what the mayor has in store for us?
I got no idea. New job, maybe?
Well,
Always like those.
should be not too much longer. If things can start on time for once around here.
And conveniently with that, the door to the chamber opens up and you see a man. He's the one who's opened the door. He is average in literally every way. He's average height. He has brown eyes, kind of a light brown hair, average build. He is the definition of an average Joe. And so he opens the door and he signals to y'all and he says, "She is ready to see you," and just stands aside to let you walk through the door.
We stroll on in.
Rex leads.
Cheers, Joe. And he tucks the pamphlet in his front pocket as he walks past.
He looks down at it and looks back up to you. You've already left. Okay, so you walk in and you see a woman seated behind a desk. It's a broad desk. It's covered in stuff, but it's all organized. There's a stack of papers here. What looks like to be a furled map on one end. It is a busy desk, but it is well under control. On the front end of the desk, you see a little name plaque, and that name plaque reads Catherine Slater.
Madam Mayor, how are you today?
She looks up at you and says, "I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking." Not many people do. With everything being as crappy as it is, they're all focused on themselves. But I'm very glad that we have a nice soul in you.
She's just cheery. This is great.
I love the mayor. I'm ready. We've known her for 2 seconds.
I don't know if she's actually a mayor or not. Maybe her title is Overlord, but Madam Mayor.
So she greets you, and she's as you can tell, she's very, very chipper. She is kind of like in this room. She's a ray of sunshine, and it's very nice. Rex, how do you respond to someone being this peppy?
Professionally, Rex has no reason to be wary of someone this happy. Now, if their movements were a little crazy, like maybe they're not normally this happy and there's something else going on, then he might be a bit wary. But this is normal for her. This is Rex's, superior. So he's going to treat her professionally.
Already. She kind of like leans herself up over the desk a little bit, that like lifting herself slightly out of a chair so you can get a better look around. And she kind of frowns a little bit, goes, "There's supposed to be 3 of you. Terry, is there anyone still out in the hallway?" And Terry shakes his head. He's now closed the door behind all of you, and he is in the room too. Catherine kind of sits back down in her chair and says, "Well, we need to get moving. So whenever they show up, we'll make it work." And with that, we'll smash cut. Bravo Niner, why are you running late to this meeting?
Okay, so Bravo Niner is in the workshop in Eden where he works, and he's working on like the last touches on a project, and he looks up at the clock that's in the room, the analog clock, and he like nods his head, like okay. He looks back down, and then his hands stop, and like his eyes shoot back up to the clock, and oh shoot, and he like drops everything, and he starts running down the street just as fast as he can to get towards the is it the mayor's office? What is this building where we're all
Is it
meeting?
even the mayor?
So it's really just it's the biggest building in town. It's kind of like it's the government building. But it, because it's such a small settlement, and B, kind of the biggest building in town, it serves the purpose of everything. The mayor's office is here. The police department is here. The fire department doesn't exist. Everyone's got a bucket somewhere. So keep it full of water, my friends.
Okay. Bravo runs up, throws the door open, starts to run towards the room, but then he stops at the desk. There's a front desk, right?
Yes, there is.
He stops at the desk, turns and kind of looks awkwardly and expectantly at the person at the front desk, and feels his pockets, and is kind of thing am I supposed to have a show a name tag or anything? And he just looks at them and he's like, can I go? Can I go?
It's the person at the front desk puts the lowers their welcome to Eden info pamphlet and looks up at you and says, what are you here for again?
Meeting with the mayor that I don't know anything about, but I'm supposed to be in there like 5 minutes ago.
Works for me. And she puts the pamphlet back up in front of her face.
Okay. He throws open the door, walks in. I am so sorry, but in my defense, I don't know who designed analog clocks. They don't make any sense. With all the destruction in this world, why have they served? Oh, I'm sorry. And then he takes a seat.
Terry's in the background just nodding in agreement to your comment about analog clocks. And Catherine says, well, now that we've got everyone, I guess we can begin. So Catherine, she's kind of like plants her hands on her desk. It's a bit of it's kind of like that imagine someone like settling into, it's like, hey, it's time for the meeting. I need to orate, and just like settling in. And so she begins, and she starts talking. She says, thank you everyone for coming here to help us out. As you know, I am Catherine Slater. I serve multiple purposes to the burgeoning community of Eden. I am the civil and security leader here, but I will soon be gaining a new title with the help of you three. This title will soon be the director of the Unity Initiative. And if I have any say in it, we will be changing that name. But
at that, Bravo Niner, he kind of like, his eyes like dart around really quickly, and then he like sits very still and just like looks forward and just tries to have like a blank impassive face.
And she notices that. She goes like, you don't need to worry, Bravo. All of us here at Eden are dedicated to creating a free society from which we have some little beginning of here. There's a lot of societies that aren't that way. You have all interacted with at least one of them at some point. Some of you have come from them, and we want to help as many people as we can to get out of those.
So, how do we fit into the picture, Madam Mayor?
Well, I'm glad you've asked. With a lot of these communities, our official diplomatic means have been stonewalled. A lot of these communities seem to thrive on the idea that there's nothing outside of them, and so when we try to send people in with just to open the lines of communication, some of them come back, and others don't. But in any case, we haven't been able to make any progress.
So, Ms. Slater, that means that we're diplomats now, or what?
Bravo Niner tries to hold back a laugh at the thought of Rex Kilgore, the diplomat.
Well, Mr. Kilgore, in our deliberations, we have decided that we are not necessarily done playing nice, but we need to be a bit more forceful up front. And so your job description, your title will be whatever you choose it to be, if that makes any sense. Your job is simply to go in and help these people out. And if you find your best way to do that be diplomacy, I am all for it. If you find your best way to do it is using your friend Opera, I don't need to know about it.
Yeah. All right.
At this, Gregor looks up from where he was trying to read all of the papers on the mayor's desk upside down and says, so, what exactly are you saying, madam?
I'm going to, as the MC, so I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to push you to make a move, okay?
Okay.
So she says, I am asking you to help me liberate our neighboring communities from their horrible dictators and tyrants with whatever means you deem necessary. So that's what she says. I'm gonna push you to make a move. I want you to read the situation.
Oh, excellent. Let's roll some dice.
Let's roll some dice.
First dice roll.
The first dice roll, yep.
Starting out well. That's a 12. Plus, read a situation is cool. That is a total of a 13.
Alrighty, so you can ask, let's see, on a 10 plus, ask 3, and you have to ask from the list. Or actually, this feels more like reading a person than a situation. I apologize. So
Okay.
it's just a different list of questions. Okay, so the questions you can ask. You have a hold 3, so you can ask these at any time during the conversation, or you can ask them all right now. Is your character telling the truth? What's your character really feeling? What does your character intend to do? What does your character wish I'd do? How could I get your character to do blank?
I think I want to ask, what is she really feeling?
So Catherine she's feeling some mixed emotions. You could say it's a couple of things. She's a little nervous because she really wants this to work. She believes in this. And so on the same token, she's nervous because she wants you guys to accept this so it can work. But she's also like very passionate because she is very behind this initiative, and she believes that it is the right thing to do.
Okay, she's genuine. I might hold on to my other 2 questions as we continue to talk here.
Okay.
Bravo like starts to like raise his hand, and then he like decides that this is not a situation where he needs to raise his hand, and he just says, "So, why do you want us to go into other communities and bring them down?"
Bring him down, I think, is a bit of a crass way to put it. We're trying to liberate them. The issue isn't that the people are bad. The issue is that they've got bad leadership who don't want to listen or work with anyone else. I mean, Bravo, you would know this better than almost any of us here. You were one of those good people held down by their regime.
One of the rare few. I don't think Siliconia is a regime of good people. I think he like cools off, and then he just stops talking about that. What I don't understand is, okay, they're bad. The people over there, they're not free. But why are we freeing them?
And she looks at you with a little bit of a little quizzically. She says, "You don't want people to be free to make their own choices, to live their life the way that they decide, to be able to explore their own ideas, their own passions, to maybe if that means leaving a community to go and explore somewhere else, to being able to do that. I don't understand why it's such a bad idea to free the human mind and enable it to follow itself wherever it deems a good and a necessary path to go."
Oh. Okay. I think I understand.
I've got a real question. How much does it pay?
Well, besides the warm fuzzy feelings that you get from helping your fellow man, we here in Eden are prepared to basically cover you. Room and board, and a little bit of jingle in your pocket to spend here in town. I think I think not having to worry about where you're going to sleep at night or whether or not you're going to eat seems like a pretty good deal in the post-apocalypse.
So roughly the same as before. That's good enough.
It's a little different than before. You get to feel good about your work.
I felt fine about my work before, but whatever you say, Mrs. Slater.
All right. She nods and she says, "Oh, I really should introduce you to one of the great people you'll be working with." And she points in the back of the room to where Terry has been standing. She says, "This is Terry. He's our specialist that we have, and he specializes in transportation and cartography. He's in short, he's the one who knows where things are and how to get you there." And so, Terry kind of raises his hand and waves a little bit from the back of the room.
"Oh, Terry, how is your compass still working since I fixed it?"
And Terry goes, "Oh yeah. The compass is doing much better now that it actually has the needle in it."
Okay. Yeah.
I was wondering.
I should get you a chain for one of those. The ground can be hard sometimes. I'm gonna get you a chain for that too. Remind me that before we leave.
Yep, Terry nods.
So, Terry, are you going to be joining us in the field?
Oh no, I'm not great for field work. Those and he just kind of gets this distant look in his eyes. They kind of go wide, and he just 1,000-yard stare. He's like, I've had too many dealings with the walkers. I'm not doing that. And he starts hyperventilating. He gets big, and Catherine stands up from behind the desk. She goes over and she puts a hand on his shoulder, like, it's okay, Terry. It's okay. The zombies are only in North Dakota. We're safe here. And so that interaction plays out. To Catherine, this interaction is starting to wind down. We've talked about the overarching thing and answered Rex's immediate question about payment. If there's anything that any of you would like to say, or any directions you'd like to push the conversation before it moves towards the end of it, now's a great time to speak up.
Yes, Ms. Slater, what is our first target?
I am glad that you asked. Our first community that we'll be sending you off to help is a little place. It's actually not too far from here. If you were to walk, it'd only be like 2 or 3 days. It's a little community. They've named themselves Denu Funk. I can barely pronounce that, so we're just gonna call them Community 1. At least I am. But they're just a little settlement. They're a little bit to the west of us, and we've been able to learn a little bit about them. They have they're mostly based off of farming and manufacturing. That's how they are subsisting. That's how they stay together. And you can see as she's settling into this, like, more of a briefing, she's falling into a rhythm. And so, she's talking about how this community, they're mostly they work together really well. They've got a couple of factories and some meager farming to allow them to subsist for themselves. But as she continues, she goes, beyond the physical structures in the village, we're not super sure about what all is going in there. We've sent a couple of people in there to figure things out. We've only been able to maintain contact with one of them. He's in there under the code name Golden One. He chose that himself. He's very proud of it. And we have another person in there. She's a person that we've worked with in the past. She's not directly working in this one right now, but she's a friendly face. You'll meet her in there at some point when you go into to figure things out. But
is this sorry, Madam Mayor, didn't mean to cut you off there.
You're all good, honey.
Is Settlement 1 one of the ones that responded to your diplomatic overtures?
Absolutely not.
Did they shoot the messenger?
I don't know how they did it to the messenger. They didn't come back.
So is Golden One undercover?
And she leans in, like, all conspiratorially, just to amp up the drama. She goes, yes, he's in there. He's in there deep. They don't, as far as we know, they don't understand that he's actually from us. So he's doing great. I'm really proud of him.
How do we know who Golden One is, and how does he know who we are? Do we have a code word or a picture?
Yeah. So she doesn't have a picture of him per se. But she can tell you what he looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she can tell you what he looks like. So she describes him as a short little fellow. Kind of, he's got dark curly hair. And she also tells you that Golden One he's been informed that a team is coming to aid him. So he's on the lookout for people from the outside coming into the village.
Perfect.
When do you want us to leave?
Well, you can leave whenever you feel that you are ready. I would prefer that it be within the next 2 days. Time is of the essence, at least for Golden Boy. The less time he spends undercover, the less time they can find him. So once you feel prepared and ready to go, you are free to do so.
All right, let's go. No, Rex gets up.
Oh, okay. I'm glad to see the spirit.
All right.
I'll need to gather some stuff. How about tomorrow morning?
Okay. Sounds good.
Gregory?
Tomorrow morning?
I'll see you boys then.
We'll meet
All
at the West Gate. Don't be late again.
You don't be early. Never mind.
Alrighty, perfect. So she dismisses you. You're able to leave the room, and you all walk out to the, I guess, like the steps leading up to the building, and we just get this little screenshot, like this little vignette of the three of you standing in front of the doors. You're looking up from like the bottom of the stairs at the up at the building, and the banners that are waving a little bit in the wind. I think right now would be a really good time for us to do Hex with each other. Who would like to start us off with that?
Well, I guess I can start. Contextually, this is just like... Sorry. This is just like background as opposed to like I'm actually asking them these questions.
Correct. These are...
Okay.
And I'll be asking questions to flesh this out and help to give the world a bit more depth and meat. A lot of this session is really kind of just going to be following you guys around for this day as you prepare for your mission tomorrow and interact with people.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm ready then.
Alrighty.
So, which one of you once left Rex bleeding and did nothing for him?
I think I did. I think you came in to the shop to get a piece of weaponry fixed, and we fixed it, but there was like a jagged edge made from a mistake, and you cut your, got a pretty nasty cut, and Bravo was unsympathetic because you were holding it wrong. No, I don't really like that. I don't want Bravo to be unlikable, and I feel like I'm kind of violating the spirit of the question. Okay, left bleeding. How are we gonna? Yeah. Man, this is dark if we're leaving each other bleeding.
Gotta self-preserve sometimes.
That's true.
That's probably me then. If we worked together on a previous operation, and I said, "You take him, I'll take him," and after I took care of my guy, I could just kind of let you finish with yours. Didn't jump in and helped.
So you left me there.
Yeah, sure.
Well, all right.
So you described it as
I think we were following a couple of suspects, and they caught wise to us, and they split and went opposite directions. And after I took care of my guy, I didn't follow up with Rex, and he maybe got shot as a result of it. One of many bullet holes that I'm sure riddles Rex's body.
Okay, I like it. Who were the people that you were after?
It was the Crimson Cobras.
The most fearsome of all the cobras.
Hey man, they're you know why they're the Crimson Cobras? They get bloody.
All right. So are they like a street gang in Eden, or are they a different area?
They're a gang that kind of travels around outside, terrorizing anyone who might be trying to, one of those groups outside of the city that
like
takes
raiders?
out the wilds, if you will, the dilapidated suburbs or wilds, squatters, roving gangs.
Awesome. Perfect.
And, which of you is the prettiest or the smartest?
Ooh.
Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I guess I already answered one of your questions.
I don't know. My character, I don't know if he would qualify as the prettiest or the smartest, because he doesn't know very much, and he's kind of a
Not much of a looker.
he's not ugly, but he's just like a scrawny little guy trying to not stand out. Matthew, I feel like,
Well, maybe are you someone that fought shoulder to shoulder with me once?
maybe, yeah. I feel like the best explanation for that would be when Bravo was after he had left Siliconia, after he'd left the place where he grew up, he was out in the wild, and maybe Rex was out on a job, and they kind of stuck together just for safety, and that's how Bravo ended up hearing about Eden and ended up coming here. And so that it's a dangerous world, and so just like by traveling together, they ended up sharing supplies, fighting side by side against the attack from random raiders, and yeah, so there's a bit of a rapport there of like we've worked together, like we know that we're reliable, but also we've like it's like if you've been on the road with somebody for a long time, you can also like you know how to bicker, you know how to get under each other's skin a little bit.
Yeah. That sounds like that's how we met, actually, then. And, that's going to be pretty good for Rex, knowing that your first interaction was traveling along with him and fighting with him. Even if you're not the best fighter, well, at least you're on his side.
Yeah. Not a hardened warrior. Willing to fight, but not exactly his specialty.
Okay. Does this mean that both of you came to Eden at the same time and just kind of bumped into each other on the road?
I think I've already been in Eden for a little while.
I feel like even if you hadn't joined Eden at this point, if you're a tough, you could have acted as a bodyguard, like delivering people out in the wild, so you would have known more about it, even if you hadn't been a part of it.
I think Rex has been in Eden for a short while. He was on the road for a long time, but after trying to look for a place to settle, this is where he's currently at.
Alrighty. I think that works for Hex. Who would like to go next?
I can go next.
Alrighty.
So, which of you is the biggest potential problem?
I think that's 100% Rex. Mr. Trigger Happy McGee over there?
I don't know.
Rex isn't trigger happy, but sometimes his bluntness and his desire to get things moving and his very, one-dimensional approach to things sometimes could land more. If more of a careful touch is needed in a job, Rex might not be the one to help with that, and it might cause quite a few problems.
All right, that makes sense.
I would be the biggest potential problem.
And then the other question is, which of you is the most strange?
I feel like Gregor is more of a social chameleon. He is what he needs to be in any situation. So, I don't know, strange.
I feel like for this one, within this world, neither of you is very strange. Like if I, Aaron, met you or met your character, I'd be like, that's a strange guy. But in the world of Dystropia, like a hardened warrior who carries 3 weapons with him, to a casual like get together or to like a work meeting, is like totally normal. Or like this blend in, take advantage of people, like con man is also like, that's just Gregor. So I feel like for that one, maybe the answer is no one.
That is a valid answer, because you do have options for everyone else, right? Hex -1. You've got other stuff to do, and other stuff to learn.
Okay, so I think this gives me Hex +2 with Rex, Hex -1 with Gregor.
Rex +2.
So mine are pretty easy. Which of your characters can I trust?
I think you can trust my character. There's a lot of stuff that he doesn't understand, and a lot of ways in which he just doesn't fit in. But he doesn't have much guile. He's pretty straightforward about what he thinks.
Okay. Matt, how about you?
I would say that Rex is more predictable than trustworthy. You know how he's going to act, and you can rely on that a lot of the times. But if the table's ever turned, you'll know how he acts. Not that he's really a traitor at all. But I'd say he's more predictable than trustworthy.
I wouldn't trust you, but I can work with you.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Then again, I feel like maybe Rex is the more trustworthy one of us because Bravo is like in general like a really good guy, but then he'll have just like random gaps in things that don't make sense to him. Like, oh, it's better to be free. Wait, but why are we helping other people be free? Like, just like random, like very unsettling. Like, wait, is like if I put my trust in this person, is there randomly going to be like something that he just hasn't picked up that like is going to cause huge problems for me?
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's a decision for Gregor to make because he's the one who determines whether or not he trusts you.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. That's a good point. What are you writing, Matthew?
Got it. Bravo, you're -1, and Rex, you're +3.
So you don't trust me.
Now I need to ask Rex, which of my stats is the most interesting to you?
It's got to be hot, probably.
Okay.
Okay, so Rex wants to see Gregor manipulate some people or try to smooth talk his way into stuff. Or
Rex can handle things on his own when it comes to things like cool and hard. So having someone else that can be the sociable person in those gaps he can't fill would really be beneficial.
Rex, I also have the most hex with you. So same question. Which of my stats is most interesting?
Weird.
Fair enough.
I think you're a weird guy. And I know in the context of this game, well, yeah, I think you're a weird guy.
All right, perfect.
You're definitely on my side, but you're strange.
That do be the case. And then Rex, who do you ask?
As of now, it's Bravo that has the highest hex with me. So which of my stats sounds interesting?
I think I'm most interested in cool for you.
All right.
The ability to act under pressure in the way that you do is maybe something that Bravo is admirable of and maybe jealous of.
cool. I don't think that Rex has taken any abilities that would replace his ability to roll cool. Is that correct?
I have battle hardened, which means when I act under fire or stand overwatch, I roll hard instead of cool. So that does actually make it hard for me to roll cool.
Okay. Then I'll say hard, because yeah, it's what gives you the qualities that Bravo admires then, which is your battle hardened, world-wise experienced self.
Hard is what makes Rex Rex.
Trent, you have us each highlight a second stat that you choose, right?
Yes, I do. Okay. Bravo, I want you to highlight hot.
Interesting.
Would you like me to read my stats?
No, I actually have the pictures of your playbooks. Okay, so Gregor, your cool is already highlighted, correct?
My hot.
Hot. Your hot is highlighted. I would like you to highlight your sharp.
Okay. Sharp. And I already used my sharp, so...
Yeah, you can mark an XP retroactively.
Okay, cool.
So your heart is highlighted, correct, Rex?
Yes, my heart is currently highlighted.
Let's have you highlight sharp as well.
I was hoping you'd say that.
I want to see y'all be interesting. Figure out some people, read some situations. I want you to learn things about this world, and by learn, I mean tell me what's true.